What goes through my mind when I think about Jesus dying on the cross for my sins is that God must really love me. In fact, God loved me so much that He knew that I would choose sin before I would choose Him, but He died for me anyway. Jesus says in John 3:16 that for God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, and the only prerequisite in that scripture is love. That for God so loved us that Jesus would be the sacrifice. And it's hard for me to really even fathom what kind of love that really is.
When I think of Jesus on the cross, I think about His unconditional love for us. Jesus took away my low self-esteem. I used to think that I wasn't good enough, or I would always fall short as far as spending time with the Lord or other areas in my life. And I would wrestle with low self-esteem as a result of that. And I've met with Jesus in my brokenness, and He has lifted me up and encouraged me that I am worth it and that He died for me on the cross.
In the last 3 years, I've lost both my mother and my father. And it took me to a whole new level of sadness and isolation and abandonment I had never known. Jesus lost everything as well when He left heaven. So I know that my Jesus understands my sorrows and my griefs and experienced it for me and with me at the cross. I desire to know Him and the power of His resurrection. But now I'm learning to know Him and His sufferings as well.
I had a vision one day, or at least in my mind's eye, I saw myself driving a brand new car. And I was going down the highway of life, and I was pretty much on top, I thought. And then along the way, I saw a man hitchhiking, and it was Jesus, and he was hitchhiking. And I thought, that he'd be a good partner to have in life. And that was during the days when we had something going around saying God was my co-pilot. And I thought, that sounds good. And so I pulled my car over to the side and signaled for him to come on and come on. And he began to come towards the car, and then I noticed something. He was coming around over on this side, and then he spoke. And this is what he said. He said, "If I don't drive, I don't drive." And I thought about it. I thought for a moment, and then I remembered that he had paid the price, and he had the right. And so I scooted over.
The first time that I remember going to the front and placing the nail into the bucket, I just felt that it was me pretty much hurting him, crucifying him. With me, actually asking for forgiveness and placing that nail into the cross, I felt that, at the same time that I was releasing something.
In one moment, Jesus took my low self-esteem.
Jesus took my addiction.
Jesus took my shame.
And Jesus took my loneliness.
Jesus took my griefs.
And nailed it to the cross.
In one moment, Jesus said,
"It is finished."
And He died on the cross for me.
For me.
For me.
For me.
For me.
And in that moment, He made me whole.
And gave me life.
And I know He is with me.